Hello everybody, welcome to Bumby Roads RV Life.
How are you guys doing today?
We wanted to kind of go over the good and the bad and the ugly of this RV life. So if you're contemplating getting into this life, you're better prepared, know what you're getting into, help people from making a mistake. Maybe this life isn't meant for you, or maybe it is and you just didn't know it.
It does take a special kind of person to live this life.
It's very different from the sticks and bricks sort of lifestyle.
Not as convenient.
But anyway, we're going to talk about all that. Let's get started with the good. What do you think?
Sure. My favorite is the freedom.
Yeah, you feel free out here, don't you?
I do, especially out here.
You're not tied down by a house and all your stuff. It feels like you can just get up and go anytime you want because everything's in your RV that you have,
Yeah, when you go on vacation, you don't have to worry about forgetting to pack things because you already got it all.
Yeah, that is really nice, like if I want to play guitar or I want to do something that would be kind of hard to do in a hotel room, I can do that in my RV.
Anywhere you want to do.
Yeah, and like she said, if you forgot something,
you got it.
You got it, yeah. One of the other things that we love is, just being able to pick up and go anytime we like. If we have neighbors we don't like.
Or if bad weather's coming.
Yeah, bad weather's coming. Or if we're in a part of the country that getting a little haywire because things are getting crazy these days, we can go to a different part of the country.
Nature.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. We lived in, one of the biggest cities in the country, and there was very little nature around there. You could drive an hour and go to the beach. That was kind of cool, to Galveston. Or you could drive in the other direction and go to the lake, but it still always felt like you were surrounded by, the same chain restaurants, the same, strip malls, and it never felt like you were really getting away. Out here, we definitely feel like we're getting away. There's very few chains in this small town near us. It's about, a 15-minute drive just to get to the nearest town from here.
And it's only like 8,800 people.
I think they allowed a Sonic. That was the
only fast food joint they have.
Yeah. So that's great. So they have individually owned restaurants and
mom and pop ones.
Yeah, and so you get some
variety,
and the food quality is much higher. You don't have to fight traffic every morning on your way to work. That was a nightmare where we're from.
And you don't spend forever looking for a parking spot either at the grocery store.
Or anywhere, when I go to work, I'd have to find a parking spot in a parking garage somewhere or
pay for parking.
Yeah. Overcrowded city makes it, kind of tough.
It's not crowded out here.
It sure isn't. We could walk around this property. We're on, 320 acres?
Something like that.
So we could walk around this property all day and not see a living person or a living soul.
A living soul.
So we love it.
Because we won't see a dead person either.
Yeah, no dead people either. That's a good thing.
You look awful. Thank you.
One of the great things about this life is you have so many opportunities to be in beautiful places. Where we are here, there's all this beautiful wide open space with beautiful wildflowers, bluebonnets, beautiful trees, all kinds of cool animals. There's all these great looking birds, hawks and...
We even have a couple owls on the property.
Yeah.
One night we were listening to Daddy Owl teach the little baby owl how to hoo-hoo.
The dogs have run into some animals.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Jasper.
Old needle-nosed Jasper.
Yeah. Jasper found a porcupine.
And quickly realized why you don't play with porcupines.
Yeah. Poor little fella.
He had over, 22 needles in his nose.
Yeah,
poor
and
thing.
we felt so bad for him. One of the things I love to do is fish, and living this lifestyle, I get a lot more opportunities to do that. Like here, I could walk, 15-minute walk, and go fishing anytime I want to. Or when we're in Alabama, I did a lot of saltwater fishing. So much fun for me. And sometimes I can even provide food for my family.
The wildflowers are just amazing in the springtime.
Oh, yeah.
There's, we've shown a few in this video, but there's so many that it's just hard to capture it on film, how amazing it is.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest things about this lifestyle is you can always put yourself in a situation It's beautiful. You know, we got to live in Alabama, you know, in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach and Pensacola, Florida for 3 months, 4 months. And so, you know, every time we went to the beach, it was just so beautiful and we loved it there.
The white sandy beaches.
Yeah, the really clear water. Be sure and stick around though, because at the end we're going to talk about the ugly. Now, this is important to hear because this could be a deal breaker for some people, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He's got stickers all on his butt. Dummy.
Thank you. Jasper, he's a hog for attention, isn't he? He just has to be in every shot, doesn't he?
It's just that annoying extra that you just can't get rid of.
He doesn't realize he's an extra. He thinks he's, you know, like the star of the show.
Diva, that's what he is.
Yeah. I'll be in my trailer. Yeah, that's our trailer too.
Yeah.
If you want to, you know, adventure and get out and see the countryside and maybe get in some hairy situations, because that will come up. You know, you're not going to live forever. If you want to get out and do things,
now's the time.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. To me, this is one of the goods, is you're always having to learn new things, you know. Tammy had to learn to drive a big F-350, you know, and I'm having to learn to fix things. I'm not the most handy guy in the world, but, you know, try to fix whatever I can.
And you've surprised yourself quite a few times.
I've surprised myself?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
But yeah, we you know, it feels good to learn new things and, you know, to be self-reliant. You know, we've surprised ourselves, like Tammy said. So.
No, that's not like what I said.
Yeah. What she tried to say.
Yeah.
Maybe your relationship's getting a little stagnant. There's a lot of romance in this lifestyle too, because you're in a lot of romantic places and situations.
You are a girl, I am a boy. We have all that in common, darling.
Sometimes not so romantic because of some of the bads that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. If things like we're describing mean a lot to you, then this lifestyle might really be worth it to you. But some people would rather stay home and, you know, and they have different priorities. It's not that they're not adventurous or they're not, you know, there's nothing wrong with that decision. It's just a different way of going about life, you know?
Well, you know, I understand. It's the different phases you are in life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, for a while we were raising our grandbabies.
Yeah.
And so we needed to be close by everybody, close by the hospitals, all that kind of stuff. And now my oldest is going to adopt them, and we have some time. We can be grandparents again, and that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And they love coming out here with us, or we took them to Alabama with us, and
they loved it.
They loved Alabama.
Maddie made new friends every day on the beach.
You can check out that video right here. So I just want to pop in here and tell you one of my favorite parts about living in the RV. Peace and quiet. Especially when he's in his studio doing his thing. I have the rest of the RV all to myself.
So what are some of the bads, honey?
Well, for me, dishes and laundry. Not quite as easy as they were in the house. Didn't have a laundry, you know, a washer and dryer just down the hall. So I have to pack everything up and walk across the property to go, and I use the landlady's.
Yeah, the lady that lets us stay here, she has a washing machine and dryer, and she lets us use that. but it is quite a hike.
It is quite a hike, especially carrying a big basket of laundry.
Yeah, sometimes we put the basket in our car and drive.
Or the wagon even.
Yeah, or the wagon, yeah.
Depends on how heavy it is. And, you know, dishes, you don't really have the counter space to, well, you don't have a dishwasher to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the counter space to, once you wash a full sink of dishes,
Yeah.
you got to lay them somewhere to dry. Yeah. Hi, if any of these tips are helping you, bump that like button and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.
That leads us to another bad, lack of space.
Yes.
We had to get rid of almost everything we owned.
About 90% of it.
You
We
know,
don't miss it though.
But yeah, I mean, you have to really find out what's important. Another bad is the constant repairs. Seems like always something that needs to be fixed. And it gets very expensive. You know, we've had trouble with our slide outs. You know, I've had to fix the cars quite a few times. Our 4Runner's like going on, what, 20 years old now? It's been so dependable throughout its whole life, but this last year it decided to give us a lot of problems. And then our truck, that's very expensive upkeep. We're still trying to solve an issue with the death wobble. We got it probably 70% there, but there's still something. So if any of you have any tips on how to handle the death wobble with the Ford F-350, we can't seem to find a mechanic that can fix it. And there's gonna be a lot of repairs in this life. You know, if you're driving around with your house, things are gonna break.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is knowing where to find parts, because you're in a strange place. You know, it can be kind of difficult, you know, to find a place to go get things. You know, like we had a leak while we were in Alabama, and it took us some time to find a place where we could get some
supplies to fix the leak.
Yeah.
Well, it was the self-leveling.
Yes, self-leveling.
And the Eternabond.
But once we found it, then we knew where to go. But you know, we didn't know when we really needed it. It took us a couple of days to find a spot. We would hear about this place or that place, we'd go to it and they didn't have anything we needed. Or, you know, it's not like when you're at home, you know where everything is. So if you're living this life, you're constantly having to figure out where to find things.
And mechanics.
And mechanics, oh man, yeah. If you need any kind of work done, finding a trustworthy mechanic or RV repair tech, or it can be difficult. It's one of the reasons, you know, I've started trying to fix things on my own. Is it's very expensive to have an RV tech come out. They know they kind of got you, so they abuse that a bit in our experience. I'm sure there's some really great guys out there, but you know, if you're moving around a lot, you might get to know one in one place, and the next place you never know what you're going to get, you know.
Right. One of the bad things, especially for our dogs, is that there's no yard, fenced-in yard that we could just let them out in and they can roam around and have fun. Mm-hmm. We have to be with them every time we let them out.
Yeah. Or, you know, if we're in an RV park, we have to take them to the dog run, you know, several times a day.
You know, the dog runs are really nice, but they're not very large.
Especially for them, because they love to run and play. And, you know, especially Ringo, because he had a yard for, 4 years or something. And,
yeah.
You know, and he just loved it. You know, he was out there all day long. You know, he didn't want to be in the house much at all. They love it here because they get to go to the lake, you know, and there's so much room out here, but, you know, we have to be with them all the time. It makes it a little bit more difficult to have animals because you have to always be with them and always take them out, and you can't just let them out in the backyard for a while and, you know.
And finish the laundry or the dishes. And,
right.
Yeah.
But we sure enjoy watching them when they go into the lake here. They're in heaven. They love it. They play this little game where they fish big rocks out of the lake, and then they push them around and bark at them, and it's the strangest thing, but it's hilarious.
That's something new that they learned out here.
Yeah.
And they taught themselves how to swim. They're pretty good swimmers now.
One thing that I think is important to mention about this lifestyle is, you know, the loneliness. I mean, you're away from all your friends and family, especially if you're out on the road. That can be pretty trying, huh? Mm-hmm. Especially if you have grandkids that you want to see all the time, and our parents are getting up there in age, and, you know, I want to spend as much time with them as I can, but sometimes it's difficult. Mm-hmm. So you know, you don't get to see your friends either, so that gets kind of lonely. You know, you meet people out there and everything, but they're not your close friends that you've known for years, and so it's kind of different. You know, it's just one of the drawbacks. But you know, the good thing is you're always meeting new people and going to new places. Internet.
Internet was a difficult one for us at first.
Yeah.
We finally found a solution. It's not the greatest.
Yeah, it's kind of slow, kind of real slow.
Especially for downloading and uploading.
Yeah, that can be, we're trying to find a better solution. Unfortunately, we can't get, we both have T-Mobile, but we can't get their internet thing.
Their mobile internet.
That would cost half as much as what we're paying now.
And be a lot faster.
And be a lot faster, yeah.
We're paying about $100 a month for
very slow internet. I mean, it gets the job done for the most part.
And we've taken it everywhere we've gone, and we've been able to get it.
Yeah, so we can watch TV, we can get on the internet and surf around, but you know, when we want to download something, a big file or something, it's a pain in the butt.
It's really easier to go and download it at Starbucks or that.
Yeah.
There's a really nice cafe in the town close to us. Will you stop doing that? You're getting the camera wet.
Go
What?
play. Go play.
I know she ain't talking to me.
You know, one of the issues we're having is making money on the road. We haven't quite figured that one out yet, and so we don't get to travel as much as we'd like to. Some people, I'm sure, you know, have jobs that they can do on the road or whatever, so it works out a lot better for them. But for me, you know, and Tammy, you know, we couldn't.
Our jobs weren't made to go mobile.
Yeah, so there's no way to make them mobile. All right, let's get to the ugly, honey.
Ugly.
Oh Lord, the ugly. Oh no. I guess first thing that comes to mind is the black tank.
Oh, not as easy and sanitary as it is in a house.
No. Especially if you're moving. If you're, you know, every time you go from one campground to the next, you have to take the whole.
You have to touch the thing.
Yeah, you have to take it all apart and clean it up and stuff, and that can get kind of gnarly.
You get used to it, but still, it's not pleasant.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. And go into the bathroom.
Oh, no privacy in an RV.
Yeah, you're going to really get to know each other.
Yeah, you can hear everything that happens in the bathroom.
Yeah, not the most romantic thing.
No, but I think it's the trade-off is, for us, the trade-off works. Another thing is, especially if you have cats, is the litter box. There's really not a room you can just put the litter box in. It's has to stay in our bathroom because there's tile in the bathroom, and it's just easier to clean up once they scatter it all about. It's like they have a party every time they go in there.
Yeah, that can get really gross and stinky. You have to keep it clean.
It's a little hard to handle in the beginning. You do get used to it, but it could be a breaking point for some people.
Yeah, if you have a weak stomach, it might not be for you. So one of the bad things about this life is all the bugs and rodents and stuff you have to deal with.
We're in the hill country, and when it's cold up here, there's little field mice that like to come in and take up residence. I've
had to kill about 8 of them, which I hate to do, but we have traps set, you know, because we can't afford to have them chewing up our
electrical wires or plumbing. Yeah. And every time you open the door, you get 2 flies in.
One of the crazier things that happens in this lifestyle is the weather. If you get bad weather when you're in a little RV, it's way more intense. Last night we got hail. Luckily, I haven't noticed any damage because it was pretty small, but boy, inside that RV, it doesn't sound small. Man, it sounded pretty brutal. Getting really cold rain hitting me right now. Whew, man. Yeah, I'm worried that this is going to be more hail and it's going to be coming at us at 70 miles an hour. Pray for us.
Yeah, we've had hail out here a few times, and it just sounds like you're under gunfire.
Yeah, luckily it hasn't been real big and hasn't caused any damage or anything, but we've also had some really high winds, and it's just shaking the RV all over the place, and it's way more intense when you're in bad weather in an RV. Another thing that can happen on occasion is you get a bad neighbor at an RV park. I don't think we've had any bad neighbors, but I'm sure. Well, actually, when we were in Alabama, the last couple of days we were there, some kind of shady characters were staying in the RV park, and they were blaring music all the time, and I'm a musician, and it was irritating me, because, well, for one thing, they had bad taste in music. But they'd be out there drinking and carrying on and getting a little too carried away, I think.
Getting a little loud.
In the house we lived in, our next door neighbor and me did not see eye to eye. Oh, there's so many times I wish we could leave, just pick up our house and go.
Now we can.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
I hope we were able to shed a light on some things you may not have thought about living this RV lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not a decision you want to go into lightly. It's really been great for us. We've loved it, but not for everyone.
No, you really must love the outdoors, and you must love your spouse. Whatever relationship you have, living in a smaller space is going to enhance that.
Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.
And don't forget to subscribe and bump that like button.
Ooh, bump the like button. I like that. Bumpy Roads, bump the like. Oh, it's pretty clever.
I am
you guys
a clever
think?
person.
Bye.
Bye.